everyone, so today we are doing a very exciting video. As you guys can see by the title, today I am going to be sharing some big news. This has been over 2 years in the works. It's so crazy because 2 years ago when I started this project, the word COVID had never left my mouth. And now we talk about it every single day. And it's just so crazy to think about how things can change. That's not what this video is about, obviously, but it's just so crazy how long this process has taken. So before I show you guys the house and the process and everything, I just want to give you guys a little bit of background because we did flips. And when I say we, I mean me and my parents. No, I couldn't have done this on my own. We split costs. We both had a mutual interest in trying our hand at flipping houses. And so we dove into this together to give it a shot. So for as long as I can remember, we used to move houses a lot as I was growing up. And whenever we'd move into a house, we would usually do little renos just to make it our own and whatever, stuff like that. If it wasn't exactly perfect, we would, tear down a wall, put up a wall, paint the whole place, just little renovations like that. And I think probably seeing that as a kid really sparked my interest in home makeovers and stuff like that. But it was over 2 years ago that I really started to dive into HGTV. I just loved watching the flip-flop shows where they buy a house, it's run down, it's in a nice neighborhood, they just make it absolutely beautiful, and then they sell it and they make a profit. It was just so fun to watch, and it seemed like every episode the house was super successful. So one day my parents and I decided, after so much time talking about house flipping and having an interest in it, we decided we wanted to try and flip a house together. Now, most of my knowledge from flipping houses had come directly from TV shows, and I think TV shows do a great representation of the ups and downs of flipping and things like that, but they don't really get into in detail some of the process, and that kind of leads into this video because I feel like I learned so much on this house flip. It wasn't overly successful. I'll just say that right now. The house in the end, I believe, is beautiful. There's way more to house flipping than just making a beautiful house. And I am not by no means an expert. I am, what is the word?
Amateur.
But I don't feel like you have to be an expert to try. I also feel like one of the greatest ways to learn how to do something is to just try your best. And I think a lot of the times you learn as you go. And this was a perfect example of that. And now I feel like if I was ever to flip another house, I would have a better understanding. And I just really want to share some of the ups and downs and things I learned with you guys in case this has ever been an interest for you, or if in your future you ever see yourself flipping a house. I'd like to give you the things that I learned on my first house flip so that you don't make the same mistakes I do, or that I can just share a little bit of insight, because I really feel like if I would have watched this video before I flipped a house, it may have went a little better. So I went ahead and I made a little sheet of the things that I feel like are important to know before flipping a house. But on top of sharing my experience, I know there's a lot of people watching aren't going to ever want to flip a house, or that's never been an interest. They just want to see the video, they just want to watch it. So I'm definitely going to be sharing the house that we flipped as well. I'm so excited to share the before and after. I don't have a ton of footage from the process, but it's a fair bit. I went through it the other day, and there's enough in there to put in the video. So that will definitely be in this video as well, but I'm also going to be sharing some tips. I also feel compelled to just say a humongous thank you to you guys. Every single door in my life that is open has been opened because of you guys. I am so thankful for all of your love and support. I don't know how to repay you, but I just try to do it through making content that I think you guys would like, and that I like, and that I stand behind and am passionate about. I truly could never thank you guys enough, and I hope that one day I can make it up to you guys like you have to me. But before we get into what I've learned, I'm sure a lot of you guys are itching to see the before of the house. So over 2 years ago, of course, I filmed a walkthrough before we even touched the house. So I'm going to put that footage in right now. And just remember, this is me 2 years ago. It's my eyebrows for me. I didn't realize my eyebrows had changed, but they look so different. But anyway, you can see for yourself. I'll put that in now. Oh, hey, come on in. We're in the kitchen. So as you can see, it is a little bit closed off. It's a square kitchen. So what we're wanting to do is expand, basically demo this, expand this into an L, and hopefully add a long island. The cabinets are actually not too bad. I think for this video, we are going to try and spray the cabinets. In here, we have a really small pantry. For some reason, the door opens inward, which isn't like the best use of space for a small pantry, so I think we'll plan on opening it outwards. Keep in mind, all the ideas I'm giving you is what we've discussed, but are not for sure like decided on. Main floor bathroom. This caused a lot of issues also. There's a lot of flies in the bathtub. We have to figure out where the flies are coming in from. We don't want any more dead flies for the sake of the flies and us. And walking down this hallway, this is kind of like a circle shape around the staircase. And there is a bedroom right here. As you can see, everything is painted light blue, which is a really pretty color. I really like it, but for the whole house, I don't think we're gonna be leaving it that. Good sized room we got here. The master bedroom. It's a lot bigger, and I think the bed would have been probably between these two windows. That kind of seems like the design. Demoing all these walls this way and putting up new walls in line with this straight wall. This probably will make literally no sense. In this corner, we're going to stage a really small living room with a sectional. The stairs are not finished. We want to finish them, and also these stairs come out farther than the wall does flush. So we want to kind of talk to somebody who might be able to make the stairs fit, because if you look from over here, the stairs come out like a full stair past where they're supposed to. So this room is kind of unique up here. When we first found this house, we didn't know what we would do because it's a huge space. The ceiling gets down to the point where like people can't stand. This bathroom is honestly so weird. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but the bathroom goes down to like 3 feet. Like, here's our bathroom. It's like a good square footage, but nobody's talking about how the ceiling gets this low. Spoiler alert, the downstairs is not finished at all. So we are planning on finishing it. All cement down here. Empty. No walls. There's lights, there's electrical, there's heating for the flooring upstairs. In this corner, we're going to do hopefully a staging of an office space, but not close it in. Let's get in to the reno. Okay, so that is the house that we had purchased for this house flip. It was unfinished, just so you guys know. Like, someone actually set out to finish it, and then it ended up being too big of a project, so they had put it on the market for what we thought was a pretty good price. But I do have a few points about before you purchase a house, things to look for. Now, I'm sure a lot of people probably know what a pre-purchase inspection is, especially if you've already bought a house. But if you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're looking into house flipping, or if you're just interested to know for the future, however far it may be, I believe that a pre-purchase inspection is a really good idea. If you're thinking about flipping a house or living in a house, the inspection could find things that are more dangerous, like asbestos or mold or something like that. And that's something that when you rip down the wall, you really don't want to find. Like, it's worth a little bit of money to figure that out before you jump into the house, because getting like asbestos removed would cost far more than the inspection would cost. And even just when it comes to like furnace troubles, water troubles, I believe that the inspection is worth it, because you might find things that make the house not desirable for you. Okay, this is one that I would have liked to hear. So it's don't rush into buying a house. Set a purchase price and then just wait. So my issue wasn't the purchase price. Like, we stayed within the price that we were willing to spend. My issue was I wanted a low square footage house. So basically I wanted a small house where we could really like beautify the whole house. But we ended up getting like quite a few story house. So it was like, it took the renovation and just like multiplied it by 3. You see something and then you have all these dreams and excitement. And I mean, I love decorating, I love renoing. So of course I wanted to do it right then. But I think it's really important to like set some like things that are like for sure's that you want, whether that's square footage, you don't want to rip down walls, or like whatever. You have a checklist of what you need and what you don't need, and stick to it. Okay, this next point they talk about a lot on HGTV, and that's keeping an eye on the market and seeing what comparable houses sell for so that you can stay within that price range to make sure that you can make a profit after your reno. And that again can be very time consuming because you have to watch the market, you have to do your research and things like that. But in the long run, it's a really good idea because what I found is I was very naive in thinking that a nice house will always sell, but it really does depend. Like if it's over the price limit of the neighborhood, it's not gonna sell. Well, it might, but it would be harder to sell usually. Okay, so those are the few pointers that I learned for before you're buying a house or while you're looking for a house. But now let's say hypothetically you have a property. I wish someone would have said this to me while we were doing it, and it means like be creative and have like lots of fun with it. And that really, really directly relays into give yourself enough time to flip the house. We had a pretty aggressive time limit on the house because we had a certain month we wanted to sell in because it's like a hot time to sell in the area. But that was really difficult to have such a close time limit. Now for renovation costs, with saving money, this is so weird because with the brain that I have right now, I would have thought me 2 years ago would have already had this sorted out, but I didn't. I don't know why. I thought like you get tiles at the hardware store, you get tiles at a tile store, but really if you want to save some money, it's a really good idea to look on like Facebook Marketplace for tiles. Like I've actually been able to now purchase tiles where like the square footage was like a tenth of the cost it would have been. And now that I've had a little bit more time to shop around, there's a few local tile stores where they'll have like end of season sales or something where like a pebble, this is the example I always think about, but we paid about $12 a square foot for the tiles in the shower. They're beautiful pebbles. I really, really loved them, but $12 a square foot was pretty expensive. And I went into a tile shop probably like 8 months ago, and they were having an end of season sale, and they had those exact same tiles for $2 a square foot. So if I would have just like known about that store and been a little bit patient, I probably could have got them for a lot cheaper. So with that point, it's basically look for renovation supplies like tiles, paints, flooring, all that kind of stuff, either secondhand or on sale. It will save a ton of money. Like there were certain overkill supplies that we did get too. Like we ended up ripping out all of the tiles, and if I could go back in time, I've seen so many amazing tutorials on YouTube about painting tiles, and then like they look so good afterwards, and that would have saved some big bucks there too. For this reno, I remember I did get certain tiles on sale, and I just remember being so excited about it. Like I think they were regularly like $5 a tile, and they were like $1.70, and I just remember being like it's quite rewarding and fun. Do what you can yourself with the time that you have. A lot of jobs seem a lot more difficult than they are. Like my dad was so impressive during this renovation. There was times where he would tell me he's going over the house to do something, and I'd be like, wait, you're doing that on your own? And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna try, I'll watch a YouTube video. And he was able to do it and save quite a bit of money by doing it himself.
I think this is the red white and this is the blue white.
Are you sure?
I don't know. We're doing evening white.
Look at how hard of a decision this is.
Polar white upstairs. Okay. Is that a good idea? I think it's a good idea.
Always make sure to be safe. Like don't take on a job that is too big for you. What would be something dangerous? Rip down a deck all by yourself. Also, tearing down walls and putting up walls can be a big expense if you can't do it personally. Like I don't know how to build a wall or take down a wall. It's not my expertise, so there was a little bit of contractor expenses there. So sometimes finding a house that's already configured correctly for what you like, then you just have to do the paint, the baseboards, that kind of thing. It's an easier reno. One little configuration that we did that I'm so happy with was the kitchen. So the kitchen was like a horseshoe before, and we ended up chopping off a part of the cabinets and then moving it so it was an L kitchen.
This piece was the one that did the little jut out in a U. We just took it off and then put it here to make a little L kitchen. Yeah, that's way better. Now I can envision the island better. Way better than before.
And then we purchased an island, and that was a really good way to use what was already in the house and just add a little bit. So the kitchen was surprisingly, like the reef configuration of it was surprisingly inexpensive, but I think it made a really big difference. Okay, now to touch on the point of staging. Staging is a huge deal, and we first started this, I kind of knew it because I always heard this number. If you stage your house, it can add $30,000 to the list price. If you don't stage your house, you lose that $30,000. That's just a statistic. It wouldn't be every house. It would be maybe more for other houses. Plus, me loving decorating, of course, I wanted to stage the house. But at the time of doing this house, I was still making YouTube videos as a full-time job, and like I wasn't having a ton of time on the side. So we decided to try a staging company, which ended up being very pricey. A staging company is a really good idea if your house sells fast, and sadly that wasn't the case for us. So we decided to carry the house into the next year, but we didn't want to pay for the staging the whole year while the house sat. So we decided to try staging it ourselves, which I'm really happy we did. And with staging, I would give probably the same advice as with the reno cost, and that would be getting things secondhand would be a great idea, because like a brand new couch can be anywhere from like $1,000 to like, I mean 10,000, but like that's an expensive couch, so like maybe like 1,000 to like 4,000. But when you find one on Facebook Marketplace, they can be like $400. So if you were staging a whole house, that would be a major expense. So getting things secondhand, it'll look just as good, but it'll be less expensive. And also you save some time because you don't have to put the furniture together. It's already put together. Like that's a huge one. We spent like 2 days putting furniture together. So I think if I could give an overarching word of advice to anybody wanting to try house flipping or looking into it, and also to past me before I started this house reno, would probably be set a budget, try to get things secondhand, watch for deals, and also give yourself enough time so you can really, really be in it and creative and enjoy it. Okay, but now I really want to show you guys the finished project. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I definitely think that we could have brought the renovation cost down a lot if I would have done some shopping out pieces better. But you know what? You live and you learn. I'm happy with it, how it turned out. It's actually kind of funny because you guys will probably recognize a lot of the decor pieces from here and my mom's place, because when we were decorating it on the second year, like COVID was starting up, so we didn't want to go out and do any shopping. So we just like borrowed and like took things from our own places to decorate it. And I think it turned out really good, but we'll see what you guys think. Here was the finished place. I just thought I'd pop in here because if anyone was confused by the staging change, it's not two different places. It's just the professional staging and mine. I'm putting both of the final looks in because I like them both. Okay, bye. Come on in to the finished reno that took a lot longer and a lot more money than we were expecting. Welcome! It used to be like a horseshoe. We had green countertops. This is a fun sink, you guys.
All these little details is the stuff I really like. Like in here, this used to be kind of a mess, and now it is a nice pantry. When we first got this place, the stairs went up on this side and the stairs went down on this side, and then we reconfigured it. So now instead of like jumping off the last step that would be here and then being like so close to the island, now it's a little bit more free-flowing around the corner.
Okay, I'm coming back in here again. I just don't want anyone to be confused, but I'm using pieces of both final walkthroughs, the one with the professional staging and the one with my staging, which are also a year apart. I know it's kind of confusing, but it's the footage I had, and for the first run through I went through the whole house. For the second run through I only went through the staging, so it's a little bit messy, it's a little confusing, but if you see this outfit, it's the professional staging and the final look of the house, and if you see the next outfit, I'm more just showing the staging I did, if that makes sense. Okay, enjoy.
We wanted to bring in a little bit more color this time, just because I feel like color makes people feel happier. So as you can see, we've got a fun, colorful rug here. Just a table, kind of in the same spot as the staging company did. We got really inspired by them, but then we wanted to put our own twist on it. I always felt like this should have been a living room. And initially I was thinking, oh my gosh, a sectional would look so good here. But the professional said this was the way to go. I'm literally scared to sit here because everything's been like poked and put the exact way that it's supposed to be, I guess. If a family wants to get in here, it'd be a good idea to have like a TV on this side and a little living room reading area over here. So of course we've got the fun pops of color, and it's funny because a lot of the decor in this house is actually stolen from our house. These are actually from my bathroom. So right now they're in the living room. Got my favorite picture ever, the Rockefeller picture right here. And then we just did some bed, side tables, the light, super fun. Over here we've got a barn door with black hardware. Look at all this tile. We've got the same tile, which we got on special, by the way. Me and my mom found it. Flowing all the way through and all the way up the walls of the bathroom. This is what was initially the closet space in the other room, and we're like, nah, let's just turn it into a shower. It's like doing my shoelaces. When we started this house, you weren't even born yet, Chip. All right, and then we just did a little bit in here, nothing too crazy. I really like what we did with this kid's bedroom. We got a mate's bed because this doesn't actually have a closet in it, so it's nice to show people who are looking through here that, well, you could do a bed like this. Future projects will definitely be adding closets. Okay, now we're gonna go upstairs. A few things changed up here. And when you look up here, you can see our beautiful light. Around this bend, we got a cute sitting area, which I'm obsessed with. And then over into this bedroom, which I showed you guys, we took lots of inspo from the stager. Initially, we were thinking of maybe framing 10 by 12 bedrooms up here. Thank goodness we didn't, because as the roof slopes, it like makes things feel smaller, obviously. Desk, and then a bed. The only difference is we added a little bit more color to it. This was another weird one because the roof does slope so much. So instead of trying to use the extra space behind here, we just turned it into cabinetry. And downstairs is probably my favorite part, so let's go. I love the soft carpet. There he goes. Bookshelf here. All of this decor is from accumulatively like every house. So this is what we decided on down here. We've got kind of like a suede looking couch, and we played into yellow and navy, and then over there we have a little desk area. We have another bathroom. There's a lot of bathrooms in this house. And then here's the laundry room, my favorite flooring of all time.
So what did you guys think of the house flip? Like, what did you think of the before and after? Do you guys like what we did with it? I definitely am happy to have finally shared this with you guys, and also gave what I learned during this house flip process, so that if you guys ever do it or have been thinking about it, that you don't make the same mistakes, or that I can just give some advice from my experience to you guys. I hope it was helpful and fun to watch. I definitely don't think this is the end of house flipping for me. I have a few things up my sleeve for 2021. We'll see. But I hope to take you guys along with me for another house flip. But with a little twist, I got some cooking up. Also, for anyone curious, we did sell the house. We ended up getting 2 offers at the same time, but we did not make a profit. sadly. But I mean, like, it's not always about making money on the house. Like, I'm really happy with what I learned, and I think if I was to do it again, maybe it would be more successful. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!